GunninGamerz here. We're back for some more Air Hauler 2 action in pilot log number 3. We have one heck of a load to do today. I wasn't actually planning on cranking out an Air Hauler video quite yet, although it's been about a month. Things have been so busy around here, as you know, with the farming C172 and all the other stuff we're trying to wrap up. And I came in yesterday to do a little refresher flight, and I was just planning on doing one flight, haul an easy load of narcotics, which is just a $5,000 load and 100 pounds. And I ended up going down to an international airport where I found a massive mission to do. So that's what we're going to be doing today. This is definitely going to be the most money I've ever had on the line, especially at one time. So it's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking, but we do have good weather today. So the first thing I want to do is just check out our company information to give you a quick little briefing on where we're at with our company. And as you can see, our reputation has been on the way up, and the last time we did a video, I think we were right about here maybe in the beginning of October, and I really hadn't done a whole lot with the flight sim because I've been busy with the other games. So here we are coming back in November, and I ran that load of narcotics today, which bumped me up just a little bit. But we've got a big mission to do. Here's our finances. This is where we finished out the other mission in pretty much pilot log number 2. We jumped up in our cash. We were up to 111, and of course we had to pay our $15,000 of monthly rent on the 24th of the month. So after that, today I got another 5 grand in, and we're sitting at a nice cool $100,000. And again, our overall rating is at 29.5, so it's definitely climbing. I haven't done any passenger stuff. My mission reputation, that's what's going to jump up a little bit with this mission that we're doing today, which is awesome. And my overall reputation is at 23.8. Haven't had any accidents, knock on wood, and gosh, do I hope we don't have one today. So moving on to the accepted mission. If we look over here, you will see what I found. I went down to Rockford, Illinois from Eau Claire, where my base is. I went down there to pick up a load of narcotics. It was an international airport, so I kind of figured that I might find something, at least a commodity or something, that I could pick up down in this area and that I could zip back. And long and behold, I was looking through all the commodities, and everything was pretty much costing me more money down here than it was up here in Eau Claire. And so I ended up deciding to look at the missions. And I found that this Hannah Tucker is looking for watches. Will pay $418.50 per pound up to a maximum of 423 pounds. Well, that got my attention right there because I was like, okay, well, I could haul that in one trip. And that sounds like a lot of money for watches. Wait a minute, I think I have watches in Eau Claire. So if we do the math, that's like $177,000 is what she's wanting to pay me for these watches. All right, so if we jump over here to the Eau Claire commodities market, this is where my eyes became as big as saucers because you can see the watches here at 154. Now, the one thing that I really got going for me is I happen to have some capital to work with. So if we go ahead and we type in the 423, I thought I deleted that. There we go. So not 1,423, but we got 423 at 154. It's going to cost us $65,000 for them. And we can actually go ahead and load that directly onto our Cessna Skyhawk, which has 750 pounds of storage, minus a 200-pound pilot. So we're going to go ahead and buy the 423 pounds. Again, 65 grand. You can do the math. We're looking at about $112,000 that I'm going to get paid on this load. And that is why I love Air Hauler. Absolutely love it. If you play trucking simulator, you know, you should definitely think about getting into this because this is so much more dynamic as far as what you can do. When you sit here and spend time looking through commodities and missions and traveling around and looking, it's amazing the things that you will find. And I have just been getting very lucky. Again, we're playing in all the hard settings and stuff like that. Well, here, I'll just pop it up so you guys can again see where my stuff is set. Job volume, I always do put that up to more so that we have a lot of stuff to choose from. And I left everything else default as far as size and distance. I don't recommend really touching these when you're in the smaller plane. Didn't do anything with that. The airport size I bumped up from here to there. That'll start giving you more regional and even a few international airport runs. So I do recommend bumping up. If you're down on here, you're going to get a lot of grass runways and stuff like that. You'll get a few of the small rural asphalt runways, but that's it. That's where my settings are, and that's what we're getting. That's what we're getting out of it, and I am absolutely loving it. So, with that being said, we're gonna jump into the flight sim and get underway here because we've got to get airborne and get down and make our money. We're gonna fly this aircraft self, and we're gonna have to type in where we're going, which is ARFD right there, and we've got it showing up on that. So we're gonna go ahead and use selected. And then what we want to do, we've got already the watches loaded. I told them just go ahead and load them right on board. And so they're all ready to go. We're going to take with us, we don't need a lot of fuel. I mean, it's 200 and some nautical mile, but we're going to probably, let's see, I'll load 20 gallons in each tank. So we're going to select 40 gallons right there. And since I just came from there, you can see it's only about $84.09 in fuel because I had 40 gallons when I left Rockford and came back. So that's about how much fuel it's going to cost us. This is a huge profit run right here. Let's go ahead and select that. I shouldn't be overweight. I'm not too worried. Loaded 90 pounds of fuel on board. We're going to go ahead and fly VFR. It's a very beautiful day out here. And since we're flying in an easterly fashion, let's go with 5,500. Let's tell them we're going to do 5,500. And everything else is looking pretty good today. Accept and fly, and they're going to want us to jump into the simulator. Alright, so as always with an accu-sim airplane from A2A, we've got to go ahead and manually load if you're running one of the other aircraft. Air hauler will take care of this for you. So we've got our 200-pound pilot, and yes, that is my real life weight. I run it in here very accurately. We're going to go ahead and throw this guy in here for the 200 pounds, and then we're going to put these beautiful ladies here on a little bit of a diet. And right there we've got the 400 pounds, and then this is going to get adjusted down to 423. And you can see there we just came under weight once we dropped down to that 423. But I think once we get all of our fuel in there, we're going to be a little bit overweight, but I'm not too worried about it. I always go all the way down to bottom and then bring it back up again. That way you get rid of that partial gallon because we paid for 40 gallons and we want to make sure we're getting all of it. There we go. We've got 20 gallons in each tank and we're a little bit over. I'm not too worried about it. So I could have said, 15 gallons in each side would have been more than enough, but we're taking 20 anyway. So that's how you go ahead and get your weight proper in the accu-sim plane, the 425. You have to do it through people and just pretend that they're packages or boxes of merchandise, watches in this case. And I've already been in here flying today, so this aircraft has only been sitting for about an hour. We're going to do a quick little check, but I do want to point out, no, it is not snowy where I live right now. It actually is very nice in the 60-degree Fahrenheit range, and we have got green grass still out in our yard. I don't know why Flight Sim does this. This would look more like December, but definitely not how it looks right now. But that's what they've got, so it's not quite that cold. But we're going to do that walk around to the aircraft real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get started here. And I forgot to get my pitot heat on. There it goes. It's red now. That means it's working, and we're good to go. I'll flip that back off again. Go and check our lock there, make sure everything's good. We're gonna untie it and check all this stuff. Everything's looking good back there. Check all of our hinges here. Take our tie off of that wing, and our wheel chock's gotta come out. This is where you can manually look at your fuel and see that we've got the 20 gallons in that tank. Checking our oil. We're getting a little bit low there. It's actually about due for an oil change. I'm going to run her for today. Make sure that we don't have any debris in there or there and all these static openings. There's the 20 gallons in the other tank. Fuel is looking good. Pulling out the wheel chock over there, untying the last wing, checking those openings, and we're moving on to our last wing. Check those flaps, everything's looking real nice today. So now we're back inside the aircraft, and we're gonna go ahead and get it started, and it's been sitting for about 2 hours, so it's kind of cooled down, but it should warm up pretty quickly. We shouldn't really have to prime it, but I'll just give her a real quick one here. We'll fire on the fuel pump and move the mixture. I'll use my mouse instead of my control here so y'all can see. Just for a second there, and we can shut that back off again. We don't want to do too much and flood it, so we'll crack the throttle there, which is the black one right here. I'm using the SciTech controls as always, and we'll move our mixture up a little bit. There we go. And everything's looking swell. We already did all of our inside stuff, testing all this. So we're all good to go there. I did neglect earlier to go ahead and set my trim for takeoff, so we're going to go do that real quick. Alright, we just got to wait for that temperature to come up. Well, actually it already is. Yeah, we're right at 102. We need to be up to 100, so like I said, I just had this thing running and came flying up here and landed, so we should be good to go. Let's get that stuff off of our screen there. 2 new additions I want to point out that we're running since the last pilot log is we have the active Sky 16. So our weather is ultra realistic and it really does make a heck of a difference. So we're running that, but also you can see this big fancy piece of equipment here we're running. This is a Garmin GNS 750. This was $50 off of Flight 1. Alright, and basically this thing is got tons and tons of neat toys. It's very interactive, and of course it looks pretty awesome on your dash as well. You can get that off of, again, Flight 1. I think it's flight1.com. They sell it. It's $50, and it is absolutely wonderful to have in your aircraft. And it works on most everything that I'm running right now. All the accu-sim, the A2A stuff, and a lot of the Coronado aircraft, it's compatible. So what we need to do is we're going to type in our flight plan today, and that's one thing I like about this is that you can actually do all this stuff from right inside. There's the Chicago Rockford International. It's all touchscreen. In real life, these units cost about $16,000 or $17,000 is what I saw them for sale. So I mean, this is not a cheap GPS if you were to get this in your real life aircraft. And it's probably not super common because of that cost, but hey, this is what's wonderful about the sim world. We're able to have these neat toys. So there's the Chicago Rockford. We've got that all punched in. Now you can do a lot of neat things in here, like, and we'll look at this more once we get in there, but you can go through and look at all the waypoint info, preview. You can look at all the procedures for your ILS, your frequencies, runways if you want to get, unfortunately the weather data doesn't work in here, but at least I haven't found a way to get it to work, but everything is just listed. All your ATIS, ground, tower, everything for the radio. It automatically takes care of your squawk box. It's got basically everything for your comm, your nav, like everything just gets punched in there automatically, and it is wonderful. You can do a lot more things too. If you backed out to the main menu, you can jump in, take a look at, it shows you all the traffic in your area, terrain, again, weather. I haven't found a way to get that working, and it just everything. It's nearest airport, procedures, charts. If you wanted a chart of the airport diagram, everything. So I mean, you can look at all this stuff in here. Go full screen if you want. It's absolutely just a wonderful addition to have in your aircraft, and it works really nice too. And it's telling us to set our course to 147, so it's kind of helpful too. Well, before we waste too much time here, we better go ahead, and I am in single player today because I wanted to do some more practicing on, if I can even find it, on aircraft control. I want to run some ATC. This is a part that, of course, not being a real life pilot, I'm really having to do a lot of learning on this, and it's a little bit to get used to, but it definitely is fun and it's interactive, so I encourage you to definitely use your aircraft control, you know, when you're in here, so you can kind of get an idea what you need to be doing in real life. But we're going to go ahead and we're gonna taxi to takeoff here. So we're gonna tell them that we're gonna request a taxi to depart south.
Cessna November 45 X-ray Delta, request taxi for south departure. Cessna November 45 X-ray Delta, taxi to and hold short of runway 22 via taxiway Alpha 1 Alpha. Contact tower on 118.575 when ready.
Okay, watch this now. You'll see over here. Maybe I can get zoomed in. Okay, now you can watch this over here, and it'll go ahead and it'll program that in. It says to contact the ground here on 118. I'm sorry, contact tower on 118 when ready. So we're going to go ahead and acknowledge the taxi clearance.
Runway 22 using taxiway Alpha 1 Alpha. Cessna 5.
Now, one of the nice things about this, especially if you're at a very unfamiliar airport or these large international airports, this is one thing I'm really liking about doing the single player. We were doing a lot on the, hosting multiplayer, and I'm not sure on VATSIM how this works, to be honest, but is that you can have your progressive taxi turned on. So we're not pushing back like we should. We're kind of cheating a little bit there, but for the sake of time and not having an hour and a half long video. Now I know where I'm going because I've been around this airport so many times, but some of these large international airports, especially at night, a progressive taxi is a very nice thing to be using. So if you're new, and a lot of the folks that I know watching the video are new to, in our community, a lot of the guys are new to flying, and so this is kind of gonna help them. And wow, you can tell I'm the new guy. I'm doing about 180 down the taxiway here. Whoopsie daisy. Gotta watch your ground speed there. You should be keeping her under about 12. I don't know what I was doing there, about 50. Good lord, I was about to take off. I don't normally go all zoomed in like that. It kind of throws you off a little bit. You get used to a certain view. And I've been having some problems with my game crashing about 5 minutes after takeoff, especially when I'm flying south, it seems like, out of Eau Claire here, and so I'm starting to wonder what's going on with that. I've got so many different things running, but it seems to only do it once, and then after that, for the rest of the day, I'm fine. And so hopefully it doesn't do it to me here today, but I think it's a problem with SimConnect. Our ground speed is up to 15 knots. I know it's kind of hard to see. And I do have the track IR on, but I like to kind of keep her right about in there. I'm going to go ahead and get my altitude set for 5,500 while we're tooling down the road here.
Ground, Sword 3, 8908, ready to copy IFR clearance to San Antonio. Sword 3, 8908 is clear to San Antonio Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain 10,000. Departure frequency is 125.3, squawk 4317.
Alright, we were told to hold short of runway 22 here, so I'm going to do that. And I just made a little bit of a new mistake. Now, I did check my heading. Hopefully I don't kill her here. I checked my heading earlier and should be, oh, we're off. See, I checked after I had landed. There we go. Should be 313, and my altimeter, though, I can tell has changed because we're right at 1,000. We should be about 900. So what we're going to do, let's flip our frequency over here and let's get the, and again, we should not be holding short of the runway doing this stuff. So wind is at 251 at 10. Alright, 3030, so, and that's what I said. I can tell just because we should be about 900. But there we go, and we'll flip back to, actually let's go over to tune in a tower. And we're going to request takeoff clearance.
November 45, X-ray Delta at runway 22.
While I'm doing that, we're going to check our magneto. Right is good, left is good. We are good. That is noisy. Let's get our headset on. Alright, makes her a lot quiet. And they said that we are cleared for takeoff runway 22. Departure to the south is approved. So what we're going to do is...
X-ray Delta, acknowledge last transmission.
Oh, shoot, sorry.
Cleared for takeoff.
There we go.
Cessna 5 X-ray Delta.
And we've got $65,000 of, I guess, jewelry it would be on board. Let's get our mixture all the way up here. And hope and pray that all goes well. Always get a little bit nervous taking off with all this weight. Whoa! What the heck happened? Holy cow. Wow. That was weird. That was really bad. Holy cow. I'm glad we got that on the movie. Goodness. Wow. Wow, did my heart leap out of my chest. I do not know what happened. That was crazy. Look at that jet down there. It is really unfortunate that this plane does not have an onboard bathroom because I need to use it. Oh my god. And that was our message saying that we're en route from the air hauler. Holy cow. Flaps are up. Oh, jeez. Something else I cannot believe I did. I thought I had my beacon on, and I did not have my beacon on. We've got to get some lights on. Okay, well, there was my big mistake of the day. Idiot. I don't know what it is with the lights. And you know, what I used to do is turn them all on when I turned my plane on. And then, you know, I realized that that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to put on, I guess, your beacon. And long story short, you're not supposed to put your strobes on until you're actually out onto the runway, so that you don't blind other pilots and things like that. And I've been trying to get into the habit of waiting, you know, to put on the lights all at the right time, like taxiing lights when I'm taxiing, you know, the nav lights and stuff. And what ends up happening, I'm forgetting. I am forgetting to put these lights on, and it's, I guess, in the simulator world, it isn't hurting anything. It's not causing my, not gonna, you know, really put my plane in any kind of jeopardy, but it's still one of those weird little kinks. Everybody's got kinks, I'm sure, of things they just can't remember, and that's definitely mine. And you can see it's actually 58 degrees out, and that's why it's so weird with this snow. So you have to ignore the weather in the game, and you know, gotta go with what that temperature, that's really what it is outside. Alright, I'm leaving the airspace. We're good to go here. We're gonna let our GPS do some flying today. And I'm usually using my SciTech panel. Well, then don't turn on then. Okay, well, I don't like that. Oh, wow. So I'm having a few issues with the SciTech panel. It was set to my vertical speed at 1500. When I took off, it was 0. So as soon as I turned on autopilot, she shot upwards. I'm still trying to work that out. It's not a simulator thing. It's maybe not a SciTech thing. It's maybe the two of them not getting along with some other program I'm using. I don't know. Climb at a rate of 400. We'll get the nav on. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and click that off. Boy, I hope we're not falling out of the sky here. What's going on here? What's really going on here? What is really happening here? Holy cow. There we go. Wow, she's all over the place today. There we go. I wanted to get out of their airspace, and boy, that thing really turned us drastic that time. Good lord, kind of scared me. I'm just a little skittish because I've got $65,000 on board. I don't care about my airplane or my life, right? We got to worry about the watches. Whew. I'm still not, my heart rate is still not, like, caught up from what almost happened on takeoff. And it just caught me by surprise because it's like a little bit of the wind caught us, I think. And I am a little bit overweight, and usually what I do is I'll push that stick in and get myself down the runway a little bit longer with a little bit more speed, and then I'll gently let back on it to let her ease up off the ground when I'm overweight. That's how I found that it seems to work well. And there we go. Yeah, you can see we're going into a restricted airspace. That's actually a National Guard base. I guess they do have a runway down there. It's Army National Guard. I don't know, they run around with jeeps and trucks and stuff, but in Flight Sim, we can't get permission. It's not possible. In real life, if it's, you know, cold, I guess you could get the permission to fly through there. It's the one thing that I'm going to go ahead and ignore because there's nothing that we can do. We can't get permission. I'm not going to just fly around it every time. That's not what they do in real life, I guess, either. So I just fly through it. Now, if that was Area 51 or, you know, like an actual Air Force base or something, I would definitely, because I like to, you know, be mostly realistic, I would go around it every time. But there are a lot of civilian airports within that airspace, and there's airplanes flying through like crazy. Listen to my radio there, yakking away. Hour and 20 minutes is what we've got estimated, and we're going 135 knot. And we're about 4,000 feet, and I was about 90% of my mixture. I need to get cut back to about 80. When you get up to about 3,000, you want to be about 80. So it's a little bit over there, but temperatures dropped. I'm going to throw my pitot heat on anyway. I don't know what the procedure is on that, but I do it just because why not? You know, my alternator is working just fine, and everything's good, so why not flip her on, you know, just in case. I don't know. I just, you see the snow on the ground and you're like, oh, but it's not really that cold. I mean, 50 degrees right now. Shouldn't have to worry about any kind of freezing or anything like that. But I was talking about that traffic, and if we run over to the traffic area here, we'll see some different aircraft here, and I'm kind of, okay, so this person here is 2,100 feet below me. What are we at? We're about 45, so if we see negative 45, or somewhere's in there, I think that would be there on the ground. These, this is 1,400 feet above me. What are they? Alright, so, but anyway, yeah, you can see, like, all the aircraft that are in our area. Here's one over here. Down here you'll see, maybe there's not too many today. Boy, here there's not really any. Yesterday when I flew through here, there was about, I mean, there was a ton of civilian general, you know, aviation aircraft, Pipers and some Cessnas and all kinds of things flying all around this area. So like I said, you can get mad at me if you want to, but I'm flying through it. Especially today. We've got so many videos that we've got to work on, but we're getting up to our 5,500. Why did this thing jump to 57? Okay, that just makes me angry. Okay, so we're almost up to that 5,500. And if you're wondering why, again, I don't have a yoke, It's because in these accu-sim planes, they allow you to turn it off. I know that kills some of the immersion, but I like to be able to see all the gauges, and I think people are more interested in that anyway. So, I don't know. I just have been enjoying turning them off. I know it is kind of weird, though. Alright, we're approaching our 5500. We're going to go ahead and kill our vertical speed here and kind of level things out. I went a little bit over, but that's okay. And everything else is looking real good. As far as where we're at, we're going to definitely, let's cut down our mixture a little bit here. Alright. These guys are still yakking on the radio. But yeah, everything is looking real good here. I always like to just do a nice little cross check here to check my oil pressure, check my vacuum, just have another look over all those gauges again. Alright, if I can get a word in here without these people on the radio. But yeah, everything is looking real good. So we pretty much have, what is it here, an hour and 16 minutes. It's not too bad at all. Hour and 16-minute flight to get down to Rockford International, and then we'll be able to make the big money. So let's sit back and enjoy the ride. And now that my heart rate has calmed down after that takeoff, holy cow, that was like one of the worst takeoffs that I've had in a long time. And you know, here it happened right here in the video when we had $65,000 of stuff on board. Oh, that would have been so bad. But I'm glad we got her in a video, and I don't know what happened there, but I'm definitely going to be going back to look over the video to see, like, you know, what I know what I should have done. I should have kept her on the ground a little bit longer. I kind of got away from me for a minute and came up a little bit earlier than I wanted it to, and then one thing led to another, and we almost had, I don't know if it was close to an accident, but it felt too close for comfort for me. So we'll sit back and enjoy this flight, and we will see you all on final. Alright, well, we're just crossing over the Wisconsin-Illinois border, and Rockford is right ahead here. We're just getting in contact with the tower here at Rockford. Alright, we're going to acknowledge our squawk code here. Alright, we finally got a word in there, so we're going to go ahead and acknowledge handoff here to Rockford approach. Now, it's a pretty nice clear day, so I'd like to just go in VFR, but we're going to tune to Rockford approach, contact them.
November 45 X-ray Delta with you. November 45 X-ray Delta, Rockford approach, roger. Altimeter 3039er.
3039er is what we want to be at.
Rockford approach, H November 53050 with you, 4500.
There's going to be a lot of radio traffic as we come in. This is a pretty busy airport, actually.
3037. Cessna 439er, contact Madison approach, sun 120.1. 160.1, Cessna 439er. Cessna 5 X-ray Delta, contact Rockford approach, sun 126.0.
Alright, acknowledging handoff again. They are just tossing us all over the place here. We're coming in here a couple of minutes, so I've really got to start getting myself situated. That airport is out there on the horizon.
Cessna 5 X-ray Delta, cleared to land, runway 25.
Oh, right there, we just got our cleared to land on runway 25. We're gonna go ahead and acknowledge landing clearance.
Runway 25, Cessna 5 X-ray Delta.
And this is where track IR can be a huge help. There we are down there, so boy, we're gonna have to get out, start cutting some speed, some altitude. And we'll be banking around to the right here. Should give my disclaimer that I always give. I'm no pro here, just a noob trying to learn a little bit of the basics. So don't go and hijack a real airplane and try to do what you've seen on GunninGamerz. You're maybe not going to survive it. Alright, we're going to definitely start cutting a lot of speed. And I'm rusty. I have been off of flying for several weeks, and this is why I wanted to kind of get back in. Okay, we are clear to land. I don't know. They got another one coming in. I'm probably doing a lot wrong here because where are we here? Oh boy, do I ever have to get around. I like to give myself a little bit of room to prepare here. And we need to get that flipped over there. I forgot to do that. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that back down there. And I think I just realized I may have the wrong code in there. Oh no, the other runway. Well, I'm not too worried right now. Not too worried. So, yeah, I think the 109 or 55 was for the other runway that I had in there from earlier.
500.
Coming in real fast and hot here. Had to bleed a lot of altitude
500.
Rockford Tower, Piper, November 7327, Papa 9 miles northeast, inbound visual.
Alright, we gotta get slowing way down.
Piper, November 7327, Papa, Rockford Tower, fly straight in.
Okay, I did get that in there right, I guess. I don't know.
3042.
Minimums.
Runway 25, Piper 27, Papa.
Keep our speed right around 75. There we go. Dropping our flaps to 20%. It should come in real nice and smooth. We're a little bit heavy, so we'll go full flaps here. I gotta watch my speed here. Down to 60. We need to
100.
a little bit faster than that. We don't want to get in that stall speed. We got plenty of runway though for this little bird.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Holy bouncy bounce. There we go. Cut that throttle back there. Boy, am I rusty today. I had 2 greasers on my earlier flights and had one greaser, one smooth, and now I got an okay. Good lord. This is why Especially when you're starting out, you really gotta, you know, spend some time flying. And we got a clear runway here, slow her down, there we go. Cut our mixture back, we gotta do that so we don't foul plugs.
5 X-ray Delta, contact ground on 12.
Okay. Whoop. Alright, we're gonna go to ground here.
1.9er, Cessna 5 X-ray Delta.
And they're gonna guide us into the general aviation side of things. And
27 Papa, cleared to land, runway 25.
oh, okay, there we go. Guess it didn't take the first time, or we acknowledged it. We're gonna go ahead. We want to taxi to parking.
Ground, Cessna November 45 X-ray Delta, taxi to parking. Cessna November 45 X-ray Delta, taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Golf Bravo Bravo 2.
All right, and next, there we go. Taxi clearance. Okay.
Taxiway Golf Bravo.
And we'll turn on the progressive because I'm not very familiar with this, so this will be our little cheaty thing here we do today, and it's really nice. So we don't have to screw around, you know, trying to get lost here at an international airport. It's not something I typically get to use because a lot of times, like I said, I've been flying multiplayer with several other people, and this is what we enjoy doing, but I'm really trying to learn, you know, a few new skills here. So my landing was subpar. My takeoff, boy, I'll tell you, that was scary. That was definitely scary, but we made her on the ground, and all is well now. We just need to taxi over. Just need to taxi over and get this thing parked. We can offload all this merchandise. We'll come back to fly another day. Alright, it looks like they're gonna have us pull right up over here. Got a little bit of a farm. So what I'm gonna be doing this month is I'm gonna be investing in all the Orbix scenery. So our scenery is gonna be looking a whole lot better, at least in the air. And I'm just kind of waiting to see if we get a Black Friday sale on it. So definitely stay tuned because you guys are gonna really like that, especially when we push out west. I've got to get my skills up because mountain flying, which I've done some, is very different and difficult and much more dangerous. So we'll be doing some flying. We'll be doing a lot of flying out in Alaska. I'm really excited where this air hauler is going to be taking us. All right, so we'll tap the brakes there a little bit, and we'll go outside and have a little look at the plane here and pull right up here. Whoop, a little bit off my line. And just like that, put them back wheels. Boom, we are home. We made it. Let's jump back inside. What we want to do here is set the parking brake, and we're going to rev her up for a second here and just choke her out with the mixture. Cut the fuel off. Alright, pull that back. We can push the throttle in, or pull it out rather. And I'm so used to doing it not with the mouse, but yeah, so we'll go ahead and shut our avionics off, shut off all of our lights, which again I've got to also do on my panel, but I know you guys can't see that. And then we'll kill that and turn our ignition off. Whoops. See, I did it on my panel and it turned it all back on. Alright, so that's all good to go. We made her and now we are safely on the ground. So what we'll do is we'll jump in. We're going to throw on our pitot cover as well as our control lock. Let's do that. We'll tie her down and throw the wheel chocks in. Now we could also go outside the aircraft and click each one of those, but usually when I get on the ground I like to just get straight to it. So this is what we ended up with fuel. We ended up landing actually pretty heavy. 24, anything over 2450 is heavy, so well, that's probably kind of why I came in and bounced a little bit there, but we're pretty heavy there. But we ended up with 9 gallons. Well, look down here, 9.5 and 10.9 in the 2 different tanks there. So we came with obviously plenty of fuel, and I could, make her back home on that. But we probably topped the tank off before we leave here. So we'll go ahead, click out of everything here. We're all done. And that's pretty much it. We can get off the phone with these people. We're ready to jump into air hauler and collect our money. Well, now that we're in our air hauler again, we're gonna go ahead and normally you would unload here, but we're not like selling it to this location or anything like that. So we're gonna hit finish flight monitoring. Since the cargo that's on there, we still own it. There's still cargo on board. Do you really want to stop flight monitoring? We're gonna say yes. And there's our okay landing. 1.5-hour flight, wasn't too bad. Okay, finish. If I click on cargo jobs, get up to jobs map, and I click on this airport right here, we should see that this lady here, Hannah, is looking for those watches. Now, if everything goes well, we're gonna click on supply goods, and we should be a whole lot richer. We're at 35,000. Of course, we had 100. And let's go ahead and do it. Oh my goodness. So the max, let's click the max. She said 423 is what she wanted to. So supply. Oh my God. Commodities are in 212. Your contact has enough stock of this commodity now. $212,000 that we have in the account. So we did make $112,000 on that flight. I know that's a little bit ridiculously OP, but there is no doubt that this air hauler is a grind, and aircraft costs a lot of money, pilots cost a lot of money to hire, bases cost a lot in rent, and this, by all means, this is not something that's super easy to do. So it's nice when you can find the loads like that, and it makes it really, really rewarding. And that's why I encourage people, especially if you like games such as Euro Truck and American Truck, come and check this out and give this a try, because this is so much more dynamic in the, transportation of goods, buying, selling, supply, demand. It's really, really awesome. Now our mission reputation did come up to 24. I think it was 23.5, but our overall reputation I think was a 23.5. It maybe came up 1 or so. In fact, we can go back here and see, it was 23.8. Now it's up a little bit. So it didn't do a whole lot in the reputation department, but it certainly did help. And at the end of the day, like I said, we made a ton of money. So we'll go back into the office, and folks, that's going to be it for this video. I really want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch it. There'll be lots more to come over the next several years. I think this is going to be going on for quite a while. We'll mix this in with all of our other simulation videos, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to check us out over at our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GunninGamerz, where we have all kinds of things happening many days of the week. We're doing live streams of all these games that we love and enjoy. Make sure you're following us over on Twitter so you know exactly when we go live on Twitch. Don't forget to check out our other links below, like our Steam group. Join that, and come and hang out and check us out over on our TeamSpeak as well. Don't forget to leave us a comment in the comment section. Hit that like button on your way out, and until next time, take care.